Chaske Spencer plays Sergeant Eli Whipp or Wounded Wolf in the Amazon limited series, The English. I'm at Noble Gold Derby, and I want to start off by asking you, Chaske, what did you think was one of the most special things about this story?
I would say for me, it was the character of Eli. It was the character of Eli. I'd never read a character like this before. And I liked where Hugo was going with him. And also I liked the chemistry and, well, not so much the chemistry, but I like the relationship between Eli and Cornelia. That's what I like. When I was reading the script, it's something I really wanted to find more about. But I love the multi-layers of Eli. And that's the reason why I mainly got onto the project.
And what was the biggest challenge for you in playing Eli?
I would say after I knew I had the character down pretty well. I'd say the challenge was just trying to stay still. Just trying to have that stillness, which I thought was very powerful for that character. I thought for Eli, he shouldn't have to move too much, to get a point across. Unless when he does move, he's about ready to cause some mayhem. So I think that was it. Just trying to find those beats to keep still.
Can you think of a particular moment or beat where his stillness was particularly powerful?
Yeah, I would say the second shootout, I want to say in episode 2. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was like the first time we really kind of because it's shot all out of order. So I think that was the one where I really had to see if I could do that. See if I could actually achieve my goal.
And he's a character that does sort of evolve a bit, or he does go on a journey. A physical journey across the West, but also a journey in terms of his relationship with her, and also just I think personal growth too. What did you find most interesting about that evolution or the growth of the character?
What I loved is the growth of the character. I love that the relationship between Eli and Cornelia, it starts off as being just from afar. They're just helping each other out. But as the story goes along, I liked the dialogue with those scenes of the walls started to come down with Eli, and I love playing those scenes, those intimate scenes, like with looking at the stars. That was a great scene to do. Just the talking, the dialogue went on between Cornelia and Eli. I really love doing those scenes because they sound easy, but they're quite challenging, actually. I always found that doing the simplest scene is probably the most hardest. I mean, crying and doing action, that's easy, or getting into a verbal argument on screen, that's easy. It's the small things that you want to be committed to, so you can get it into the details. And I think the audience can see that. So those are the ones that are quite challenging.
Think about that scene where you sort of guys are looking at the stars. Is there a particular choice that you made that was a little thing that you think made a big difference?
No, we had been in rehearsals a couple weeks before we started shooting, so I got all the stuff I needed, did all the mistakes I needed to do in rehearsal, and then when we finally got there, it was really, Hugo it was like 3 takes tops, and we had our rehearsals, we had everything down packed when we went on the day when we came in to actually shoot, so we weren't really messing around. It was a quick find the beats, and it's so easy working with Emily. It's so easy. So, I want to say that it was a big challenge, but actually it was quite easy when you have a good support system, and just great talent. That's what you're working with.
When a relationship like Eli and Cornelius is so sort of pivotal and important within the story of a show, it's so important that sort of chemistry and just that relationship plays out right on screen. What was sort of something that was different about your working relationship with Emily to get that right that maybe you hadn't encountered before with other actors in films?
We had time. We had a lot of time to get to know one another. We were the film was going to go right before COVID. And then when COVID hit, it just delayed things. And I had a lot of time to sit with the character and a lot of time to marinate it. But we were in rehearsals through Zoom, and then Emily and I would talk through Zoom and talk about the scenes and the character. And when you're discussing stuff like that, you're working with a coworker, so you find other things you have in common. We both have families, and we talked about that. We talked about our kids a lot, and just found little things that we thought were funny in the script and what we could try to do here. And like I said, she's really easy to work with. I mean, it's just like you go from talking just right into the scene. It's just flows really, really, it softly flows very easily. And I love that. Because there was no tension on set. There was nothing, no blocks or anything like that. So when we got there and we started filming, we already had the relationship down to be able to develop that chemistry.
Yeah, like a big part of acting in a project like this is, I imagine, collaboration and listening are very key. What do you think you and Emily learnt from each other making this project?
I don't know. I can't speak for Emily, but I learned just watching her, how she developed her character, how she conducts herself on set. And she's an executive producer as well. I definitely took notes. She's someone I really admire in the industry. She's just phenomenal. I mean, she's a phenomenal actress, great action star. She's got it all going on. So I had a lot to observe and to learn from, and I really appreciated that time. For me, I think that was it. And she's just wonderful to work with. And I got to say, the writing was the one that when you have good writing and a good director, everything falls into place.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there something that you like? It doesn't have to be from Emily now, but like something you learnt and grew in as an actor from this, from the English?
That I can play a leading man.
Yeah.
I know I'm a character actor. You've seen my work. I'm a character actor. I like those roles. I grew up, before Sam Rockwell was actually known, and Philip Seymour Hoffman, all those guys, before they became famous. We were watching them in the 90s, with Hard Eight and what was the one that Green Mile. So those are the guys I liked. And I've always loved the character actors. The Gene Hackmans, the Dennis Hoppers, the Christopher Walkens. Those guys are my guys. They're just odd. And so I just figured my career was going to go that way. But being a leading man, it's definitely an art. There's definitely a different type of craft to it that I had to learn. And it's no different than like going on to any other project or taking on another character, but it's just slightly different, And I had fun doing it. I had fun. I really had a wonderful time playing with that.
Oh, that's good. What scene was the most fun to shoot?
Oh, all the action stuff for sure. Like all the stuff, jumping off the horse, the shootouts with Toby Jones, stabbing the very wonderful Karen Hines, but wonderful guy. And then watching Rafe Spall like just dazzle me at the end of the scene. He's such a phenomenal, talented actor. He's people don't know how good he is. He's good. He's so good to watch him. That's mostly what I did on set. Besides trying to do my own job, but mainly just watching other people act. There was a scene in the end where, at the end where Emily and Rafe were all standing at the end of where he's drilling. He was so good. Just watching him do that. I forgot I was in the scene, and I had to. When my line came up, I was like, "Oh shit!" Look at the camera wasn't on me, but I actually did. Oh shit! I had to like deliver my line to him. He was so good. But he's just so captivating, such an interesting person to watch.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. With horses, like, were you that? How much have you ridden horses in the past? Was that a new thing you had to do? Or?
Yeah, just movie horses, which that's not really right. But with this one, I had to learn, and they brought us in a couple months early, so I was doing horse training, weapons training, and that just helps enhance the character. I love that stuff. That's the reason why one of the many reasons why I became an actor, because I get to learn stuff like that that's outside of my comfort zone, and I enjoyed it. I fell off a couple times, and first one hurt, but the second time not too bad. You just got to hop on, and it's they're very fun creatures. They're very much like humans. So, they can tell when you're scared. They want you to lead them. So I had to learn to be a leader with my horse Bayou. And I had a great horse. He was so patient with me. All those Spanish horses, they're all movie horses, so they know how to work with guys like me.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. And like you said, you'd learn how to be a leading man, and you had to learn how to lead a horse. Both
I
the
know.
same. So all this
I got the
leading
whole combo,
experience.
didn't I?
Yeah, yeah, all this leading experience for you. What some of your character says in his very first scene with Emily Blunt, or with Cornelia, is it's not your fight, don't pick it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and he sort of grows throughout the course of the film. I feel like he'd say a different thing at the end of the series than he does there. But as an actor, what do you think your like? What is your fight as an actor? Do you have to like pick what to focus on and what to do? Like,
Yeah, I would. Well, I always like I come in very prepared at the beginning. I think most of the work happens before the film.
yeah,
Like the preparation is what I love. The reading about the information, gathering all the information about my character and my subjects, and also transforming myself and learning all the stunts and all that stuff. That just helps everything. Um, what was the question again? I got lost.
sorry, it was like so. Your character sort of in the series goes like, oh, it's not your fight, don't pick it. Sort of, you've got
Okay,
to
yeah,
focus on certain things. As an actor, do you have to pick your fights and pick not
yeah. So
argument fights? Is that what oh, sorry, just say it was a
yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah. But I know now. I know what you mean. Now, what you mean. I wanted a lot of the prep took place before, and had researched a lot of the Pawnee stuff that Hugo and the production gave me. But at the end of the day, I had to make him my own in some way. And I'd seen all the Western movies I could, and I didn't want to imitate that. Yeah, but I just wanted to honor it and try to bring something else to it. So at the end of the day, I thought that Eli was a vet. I just pictured him as a Vietnam vet. I don't know why it was Vietnam, but that just hit me, And I pictured him as a biker. Like if
Mm,
he were around today, he'd be on a bike, on a
yeah.
Harley Davidson Chrome, going from gas station to gas station. And I just pictured him that way. And I thought, there's a swagger to that. And plus, all the music that a lot of those boys listened to in Vietnam, the rock music. I listened to a lot of that helped bring. But at the end of the day, it was Bruce Springsteen's "Born in the USA" that really hit me when I was playing this role. Yeah, because I don't think a lot of, I don't think too many people know about what that song's about. And I like the first line of that. I think it's the first kick I took is when I hit the ground, and I just that lyric just that was just Eli for me. That lyric, and then "Gypsy Biker" by Bruce Springsteen was another song that I played a lot that I felt resonated with Eli. And I do all the prep before, and then I guess what I wanted to fight for my character is that I wanted him to be the observer a lot. And his goal for me was just survive. He'd been surviving for so long and without anybody for so long, been on his own for so long that when Cornelia pops up, she's just a fresh breath of life. And I wanted that. I wanted that feeling. I wanted the character to feel that. And when they have in common is their tragedy and their trauma. I think that triggered a lot of Eli. And what I loved is that he's going way home. He's on his way home to, sometimes you got to see a thing to let it go. And I love that line. I love that line. And I think that's who Eli truly is. He has to see things to let it go. And
Mm.
I really admire that. And, I wish I was like Eli. He has a lot of integrity, and he's just a man's man, and an action man. And he's fun to play. He really is fun to play.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like Cornelia and Eli come from such different worlds, but they've got so much in common, and particularly that sort of maybe integrity. They have very similar way of seeing the world, even though Eli's got a bit of a different perspective at the beginning.
A
You
little
can see
bit.
them, yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
can see they sort of end up in a similar place. It's really nice. Um, that is a great line. Is there anything you as an actor have to let go when approaching performances?
Yeah, I have to let go of self. I have to let go of ego. I have to let go of being self-conscious about myself. When I work, I pretty much go balls in. I get away of everything that's from myself and my old acting teacher said something that I find very true. Acting's not cool. This isn't, I mean, people see all the lights and, the red carpets and stuff, and they think that's what it is. But if you really want to do it right, it's not that cool. It's really hard work. If you really want to nail a character right, it's a lot of discipline, a lot of like maintaining that area. And then plus, the psychological aspect of being in a character. I've been to Eli for about 6 months and I work organically. So eventually that shit's just going to come home with me. It's going to come home with at some point. So I had to learn to really like leave Eli back on the set, but I couldn't help it. I'd come home at night, I'd feel a little weary, and I'd sometimes talk in my accent still, and I just didn't realize I was doing it. So when at the end of the day, what I usually do, I make a huge playlist on my Spotify so I can get into character and stuff like that. And when I'm done, I guess for me to release, I just erase the playlist. I delete the playlist, and I think I shaved my head, afterwards. And it took a little while to let go of that guy. Yeah. But I'm very honored, and I feel almost like I miss him. I've always felt Eli was just a true good man.
Is there any part of him that stayed with you, or that you're finding that you haven't shaken off?
No, I think he's all gone. All gone.
That playlist is deleted.
Yeah, I'm sitting there thinking, is he still around? No, he's gone. He left. He didn't like me anymore.
He's on a horse to Wyoming or Colorado or somewhere. I don't know what state he was on his way to. Oh, so cool. Just good to sort of end on thinking about what is home for you.
Oh, I see. Home is where my family is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've always lived like a gypsy. I moved around a lot when I was a kid, and I moved around a lot as an adult too. So I've gotten used to wherever my family is, wherever my wife and daughter is, that's home. That's home for me.
That's nice. That's cool. Well, how do you tap into that? Like, when you're out on a shoot on a film and homes with your family, how do you sort of like still feel at home, or do you feel away from home when you're shooting?
I do. When I'm on set, it's like a second home. It's like joining the circus. I'm with the other circus performers.
Yeah.
And so when I'm on set, it just feels like a second home. Like I love making movies. I love being on set. Yeah. I love hanging out with the ADs and the crew and the cinematographer, and I just love that. It kind of reminds me of that scene in Almost Famous when they're all backstage and you get to see how the magic happens. That's how I feel when I'm on a film set. And this is what I love to do. I love playing other people. I've never grown up. It's like I've never left the sandbox. And so when I sign off, usually after production ends, we all give little gifts and sign cards, and I always say like, "Thanks for playing in the sandbox with me," because it's just we're just kids. We just got expensive toys. That's all.
Yeah. That's so cool. Well, Chaske, thanks so much for speaking with us today. All the best of luck for the upcoming Oscars and other film awards that are down the pipeline. People watching this interview can go to goldderby.com to join the awards discussion and make your own awards predictions. Chaske, it's always so fun to chat with you.
Pleasure to be with you too, dude. I'll see you again.
Yes.